Good afternoon. This is the 5FM Radio Main News. The headlines. Concerned with the failure to enact the Political Parties Bill of 2017. Number of foreign nationals mining gold illegally in Northwestern Province has risen to 178. 11 dead, several still missing in San Antonio floods. This bulletin with the details. My name is Lance Sannie. Community Action Against Corruption has noted that the lack of a law requiring political parties to disclose their funding sources is a significant obstacle in the fight against corruption in Zambia. The organization's chief executive officer, Brighton Tembo, emphasizes that both opposition and ruling parties must disclose their sources of funding to ensure transparency and accountability in Zambia's political system. Mr. Tembo further believes that donors who support political parties, whether in power or opposition, often have hidden motives to secure future benefits. He argues that these funders exert considerable influence on government decisions and their involvement can create opportunities for higher level corruption, potentially even leading to state capture.
So people aspiring to form government or those who have formed government, if they cannot disclose the people who are funding them, then there is chance of high compromise in the way such people are going to conduct themselves when they form government, because definitely they will come under the influence of their funders. So much of high level corruption, like for example, the ones which is highlighted in the Financial Intelligence Center report, most likely such kind of corruption is influenced by people who fund these political parties. So just as long as we are not willing to enact a law which can compel political parties to disclose their source of funding, then we are not willing to go for the way of transparency and accountability in the way we run our system of governance.
The Zambia Civil Liberties Union ZCLU has reaffirmed its unwavering commitment to defending the rights of the most vulnerable and voiceless in society. On Friday, the Constitutional Court adjourned to September 2025 the hearing of a landmark petition filed by the ZCLU, which seeks to affirm the constitutional entitlement of children born in Zambia to refugee parents, as well as refugees and former refugees, to apply for Zambian citizenship. The petition challenges Section 2 of the Citizenship of Zambia Act for its apparent inconsistency with Article 266 of the Constitution, particularly regarding the definition and treatment of refugees and their descendants in matters of citizenship. Speaking to the media at the Supreme after the hearing, ZCLU Executive Director Isaac Mwanza noted that a significant development in the proceedings was the successful admission of the Global Strategic Litigation Council as a move welcomed by both ZCLU and the state. He said this addition is expected to enrich the constitutional debate with comparative legal perspectives and international human rights standards. The court granted an adjournment following a joint application by both parties to explore a possible out-of-court settlement, given the parties' shared understanding of the law. Zambia currently hosts approximately 103,000 refugees. Among them are more than 64,000 from the Democratic Republic of Congo, 16,500 from Angola, 14,000 from Burundi, 4,800 from Somali, and 4,700 from Rwanda. Significantly, around 33,000 of these individuals were born in Zambia, some dating back to before independence in 1964, who have never known any other country but Zambia as home.
For refugees themselves and for former refugees who for decades and decades have been rendered or at the verge of being rendered stateless in the only country they have ever known to be their home. Our constitution and our laws, as amended, are clear, very clear, that refugees, their children are entitled to apply and acquire the Zambian citizenship. And what remains is to ensure that they are implemented without discrimination or exclusion.
The number of foreign nationals apprehended in the ongoing crackdown on illegal gold mining activities in Mufumbwe District, Northwestern Province, has risen to 178. The Department of Immigration confirmed the development to 5FM News. Organization Chief Public Relations Officer Namati Nshinka says this follows the apprehension of 12 additional individuals, 7 Tanzanians and 5 Zimbabweans on Thursday, 12 June 2025. He says all 7 Tanzanian nationals recently apprehended in Mufumbwe entered Zambia as ordinary visitors. Mr. Nshinka, however, says they were found to be in violation of the country's immigration regulations by engaging in business activities specifically rather, illegal gold mining, which is strictly prohibited under the terms of their visitor status. He added that in a separate incident, immigration officers in Kasumbalesa conducted a routine enforcement operation that led to the apprehension of 15 Congolese nationals suspected of illegal entry or stay.
Present in Zambia as business visitors were apprehended for their involvement in the same illegal mining activities. All 12 individuals are currently detained in Kasempa, where they await further immigration and legal processes. Since the operation began on 4th June 2025, a total of 178 foreign nationals have been apprehended for their involvement in illegal mining activities in the Mufumbwe district. The majority of those apprehended are Tanzanian nationals, with 153 individuals detained. Others are 9 Mozambicans, 7 Zimbabweans, 5 Congolese, 2 Burundians, 1 Nigerian, and 1 Senegalese.
The Lusaka City Council has urged all residents to prioritize their safety and take necessary precautions to prevent fire incidents while warming their homes as temperatures continue to drop in Lusaka. Lusaka City Council LCC Public Relations Manager Chola Mwamba says residents should be cautious when using heaters, keeping them at least 3 feet away from flammable materials and never leaving them unattended. She emphasizes the importance of ensuring proper ventilation when using fireplaces and advises residents to keep a fire extinguisher nearby. Ms. Mwamba past 2 weeks alone, the fire brigade under the Department of Engineering and Infrastructure Development has responded to 22 fire incidents. The local authority is concerned about the
fire extinguisher nearby, avoid overloading electrical sockets, and keep cords away from heat sources. In just last 2 weeks, the fire brigade under the Department of Engineering and Infrastructure Development has attended to 22 fire incidents, and the local authority is concerned about the escalating number of fire incidents in the city. The Lusaka City Council is committed to ensuring the well-being and safety of all residents. We need to work together to prevent fire incidents and keep our community safe during this cold season.
Independent Church Association of Zambia ICO's President Bishop David Masupa has called for an end to finger pointing during the funeral of the 60th President Edgar Chagwa Lungu. In the meantime, Bishop Masupa expressed confidence that the existing bilateral relationship between Zambia and South Africa has, however, advised the government to acknowledge and address the concerns of the Lungu family, noting that doing so will help ease tensions and foster understanding. Bishop Masupa has since called on Zambians to mourn in a peaceful and dignified manner.
That period of mourning has already been declared, and people are expectant for government its role as usual, which they had performed with other 5 presidents that have gone to be with the Lord. Having said that, we need to look into this issue, and we urge government deeply and be able to understand and also share the concern of the Lungu family. We know that by now they could have even understood what the problem could be. But this is a time when we need to share challenges that are being faced by the family. We need also to share their concerns and indeed their wants.
And in other news trending this afternoon, Coviex Uranium Zambia Limited, a company intending to mine uranium in Chirundu and Siavonga, has placed commitment to take the interest of the community in consideration. Opposition Citizens First Party in Eastern Province has maintained that it has unearthed a scam suspected to be a conduit to rig the Lumezi parliamentary by-elections. And in news from across our borders, at least 11 people have died and several are still missing after flash flooding hit San Antonio, Texas. The severe storms on Wednesday and Thursday forced cars off roads, pushing some drivers into a creek, according to a local CBS, the BBC's US news partner. The San Antonio Fire Department said rescuers were searching for at least 4 people missing in the floods. For more, here's a roundup from the BBC.
Sirens have again been sounding across Israel as Iran continues to fire retaliatory airstrikes. Loud blasts were heard earlier in cities including Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. The Israeli Air Force says it's continuing to attack targets inside Iran. Overnight, there were reports of fresh explosions at Mehrabad Airport in Tehran. The US radio station Voice of America has asked more than 50 former employees to help its Middle East coverage months after President Trump gutted the federally funded service. Most of the recalled workers are from the radio's Persian network. Palestinian media say several people have been killed and dozens injured by Israeli forces while queuing for food near a distribution site in central Gaza. Information from Gaza has been scarce since a full internet blackout began on Thursday.
And in sports news, Copper Queens captain Barbara Bande continued her impressive run in the United States National Women's Soccer League (NWSL), finding the back of the net in Orlando Pride's 1-0 victory over Bay FC at PayPal Park. Bande scored with a composed right-footed finish from the left side of the box, guiding the ball into the bottom right corner after a well-worked quick set piece assisted by Carson Pickett. The goal added to her growing reputation as one of the most lethal forwards in the league, where she now has 8 goals and 1 assist in 12 matches. She is a goal behind the current top scorer, Esther Gonzalez. Zambanda was later substituted in the 89th minute, making way for fellow Zambian international Priska Chilufya, who continues to grow into her role at Orlando. And now the weather report.
Class Econ Roofing Africa.
Class Econ Roofing, plot 17100 off Katanga Road, 150 meters from Mumbwa Road, Chinika Industrial Area, Lusaka. Class Econ Roofing. Class plus economy.
Class Econ. Class Econ Roofing Africa. Class Econ.
Western, Southern, Lusaka, Central, Muchinga, and Eastern provinces, including the southern parts of Luapula and northern provinces, mainly cloudy, windy at times, and mild to warm, with a chance of light rain over Sioma, Shangombo, Sesheke, Livingston, Mpika, and surrounding areas. Maximum temperature will range between 21 degrees and 27 degrees Celsius. The evening will be partly cloudy, windy at times, and mild. Ends our weather report, and that item brings us to the end of the news. But before we go, a recap of the stories that made headlines. Community Action Against Corruption has noted that the lack of a law requiring political parties to disclose their funding sources is a significant obstacle in the fight against corruption in Zambia. The number of foreign nationals apprehended in the ongoing crackdown on illegal gold mining activities in Mfundo District, Northwestern Province, has risen to 178. And finally, at least 11 people have died and several are still missing after flash flooding hit San Antonio in Texas. For more news, follow us on Facebook and YouTube for FM Radio Zambia. On behalf of the entire news crew and the technical department, Thank you for listening to the Happy World of 5FM. Stay safe and stay tuned to 5FM Radio. My name is Lance Sannie Banda. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.